Well, hey guys, what is going on out there today? Just like the picture says, it is go time here at StreamYard. Live going out at 7:10 this morning, Pacific time zone. Rancho Mirage, the California desert. Wimbledon Drive, Mission Hills Country Club. Yes. And just about to go out in the grass this morning in a little bit under a couple hours. Good drill session with the O set up for this morning. So looking forward to that. Guys, hope you're having a great Memorial Day wherever you are. Look, would love to know in the comments area, what are you working on this week? Maybe what have you been working on the past week or so that, you're starting to figure out, or maybe there's one little tiny nugget in there that you're not quite 100% sure about. Let me know down below in the comments area. Would love to read that and respond to you, maybe give you a little idea. Something you can do with that. You could leave it in the comments area down below or in an email, brent@webtennis.com. The picture in front of you, it's go time. And really honored to have this young kid, Katie Volynets, from Northern California, come on down the last few days. She was down here in Mission Hills Country Club, getting ready to go to Wimbledon. So she was practicing on the grass. I know her coach very well. Ironically, a guy who is tennis director up there at the Moraga Country Club, which used to be my job back in the late 70s, early 80s of the Moraga Country Club. Beautiful place, great place to play, but a great place to teach and coach. And Katie's been with Mark Orwig for about 12 years, I think, ever since she was 7 years old. Anyway, Katie and a practice partner came on down to the desert for 3 days, had, several great practice sessions. And so look, here's a kid that I want you to remember that either I told you first about her, or maybe you've seen her play, because she just won a $100,000, I guess it's challenger in Bonita Springs, Florida, just recently, which got her to number 200 in the world, which also got her straight into the qualifying at Wimbledon coming up. She's leaving tomorrow for London. And there's a couple of lead-up tournaments to Wimbledon that she's going to try to get into before the qualies there at Wimbledon. But and then we were talking yesterday, and I'm talking about some of the girls that had just qualified for the French. And she said, well, ironically, she had beaten 3 of the girls that qualified for the French in the tournament that you won in Bonita Springs. So she's the real deal. And it's interesting watching her with her practice partners, and then the other day watching her play some games against a guy who's good and a guy who could really bring the heat with a serve. This guy probably serving around 115 to 120, which, compared to the 135s we see out there on TV on the tour, may not sound like that big a serve, but I'm telling you, 120 is the blink of an eye. If you don't, what I'm gonna try to coach you with today, if you don't have early prep when you're returning, it's by you. And one of the things that I really got from Katie watching her play, and we've talked about this before, was the early prep with the shoulders. So not only on the return of serve, but also on the groundies, right? And look, you got to understand that if someone's serving 115 and 120, you've got to instantly commit. The serve's coming to my right, the serve's coming to my left. I've got to commit getting into the hitting position immediately. And there were several times when this guy Borja, super great guy, and I'm looking forward to working with him on my game a little bit this summer in Colorado. But he would hit a serve in the net. And one of the things I've talked to you guys about before, when someone's serving you and they hit their serve in the net, see where you are in terms of the turn, right? The shoulder turn. If you're not 100% turned and ready by the time the serve hits the net, then man, put yourself, keep going, even though, we're still dry rehearsing on it, but keep going until you put yourself all the way into that shoulder turn position. So you tell your brain, man, this is where we want to be when that serve is crossing the net. And I know for me, hey, Carl, thank you. Look, so that's a big deal. And really what I want to talk about today is, again, I'm picking off of Dave Sievertson's, his 12 little recommended goals for me. And again, if you want a copy of this, all you got to do is just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. More than happy to give this to you. I am going to do a little thing where after each one of the 12, I'm going to record a video, give you my interpretation of it. I think we're going to be able to get Jeff Jacklich on the video to add his 2 cents as well on each one of these. But if you want it, if you want me to send it to you, it's free, no charge. It's on me. Just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. I'm calling it the Sievertson 12, and just reference that in your email, and I'll make sure you get it when it's ready. But one of the things that I noticed with Katie was what Dave says, and this is number 1 on his list, is early preparation. Using early first step and set the shoulders, and get this, set the shoulders, not the wrist. The wrist is used for emergencies. Expectation, when using the wrist, you will produce short balls that set up high for your opponent. All right. So using large muscle groups will give you a longer hitting zone and much more control. I mean, that is such a huge deal, right? In terms of whether you're returning serve or whether you are the points going on and you're back in the baseline and you're getting ready for another groundie, you got to get into turning your shoulders. And one thing that Mr. Stowe always said is that the sooner you get into the hitting position, and the hitting position means, what would a golfer do? A golfer's not kind of set up. The golfer's fully committed, right, to their setup position. A baseball hitter is not facing the pitcher. They're either a left-handed hitter or right-handed hitter, and they're fully into their hitting position. Well, the big challenge that we've got with tennis is we've got to hit on 2 different sides, right? And so the sooner you commit to, I'm a right-handed hitter in terms of baseball, I'm a left-handed hitter in terms of baseball, right? In terms of you committing to getting the shoulders turned and just not flipping the wrist back there and kind of turning, the sooner you do that, the more time you have to evaluate, when do I want to deliver the racket against the ball? Timing, right? And, I mean, I've been talking to the guys who've been watching Katie hit for the last 3 days. And that's one of the common things, is the instant prep, creating all this time to get ready. But the contact point for her was like the same over and over and over again. It didn't matter what type of ball was coming in. And this kid that she's calling, that was her practice partner and helping her, coaching her, this guy, a young dude, I mean, he's within the top 300 in the world. So he's hitting the crap out of the ball. And it doesn't matter if it's a slice, doesn't matter if it's a heavy topper, looper, or a drive. It just felt to me that she was ready so early that she had time. And, you think about it, she probably had more time than we have, more time on those fast incoming balls than we have on a slower incoming ball, right? So the message for today, well, I guess a double message, is I want you to be looking out for this kid, Katie Volynets. It's a Ukrainian last name, and I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. You know me. Anyway, but be on the look for her. And because I really feel, and everyone especially with like Jeff Jacklich hit some balls with her, not yesterday, but on that was on Saturday, and just kind of came away with this first impression was the base, the foundation. And Jeff talks a lot about, hitting the ball from a very solid foundation, from a base, right? Where we're not kind of up high, so that kind of teetering and topping over, where our timing is such that maybe we're too far early and we're kind of falling forward as we hit, or maybe we're late and we're backing up. her foundation, the swing out of that foundation is just incredible. It's just rock solid. And it's something that all of us can do. We can get into early prep. We can get into a really solid hitting foundation. And from there, it's really just, do you have the guts to allow the ball to get into your unique hitting zone? And if you're prepping early, sometimes what happens is we go, well, I just got too much time to think. Well, that's the worst excuse in the history of the game. I'm going to prep late so I have less time to think. Come on, man. So get prep super early, and then just wait for the ball to get into your hitting zone. Might be different than mine, might be different than Katie's, might be different than, the guy down the block. That's okay. And the way to discover what is your perfect ideal hitting zone, look, get out there and rally some balls, early prep, and you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that contact at a certain point, and the ball just feels, for you, that one just felt right. That was the one I want to do over and over and over again. And you've got to be aware. You've got to be able to have some self-observation in terms of, where was that point of contact? Where was my spacing? What was my spatial distance away from the path of that incoming ball? And if you know those two things, if you know your spacing and you know the point of contact for you, it's game over, man. I mean, then if all you have to do, obviously, once you know those two things, is recreate the spacing with your feet, and then just wait to deliver the racket to that perfect ideal point of contact. Probably got a little bit off topic here. But look, that's exactly what, Dave is talking about here in goal number one for me, is early preparation. One of the things that kills early preparation is tension, right? I mean, I was watching Katie return these big bomber serves, and the sense I had was that it's almost like mentally she's slowing the ball down, right? So she's so relaxed on it, and yet alert and ready to commit to the turn to the right, turn to the left, depending if it's a forehand or backhand. And so if you've got too much tension in your hands, right? If you're grippy on the racket because you're a little tight, you're a little nervous, you're a little worried about what that guy might do over there, you are going to be so slow getting out of that facing forward, out of that so-called ready position, that you're never really going to get into a fully turned shoulder position, right? And look, do you ever need to firm up the racket? Do you ever need to firm up the racket on the return of serve? And firming it up means kind of giving the grip a little squeeze. Well, maybe just prior, that little tiny nanosecond right before contact, sure, maybe there's a little firming, but it's not much. So do you need to firm up your grip during the ready position? The guy hasn't even started tossing the ball yet, and you're getting a little tight? No. Do you have to firm up the handle, the grip, when the toss goes up? No. Do you need to firm it up at contact? No. The only time you need to firm it up is maybe just prior to making contact. And even then, if you've got the right spacing and the right point of contact, just like Dave says right here, using large muscle groups will give you a longer hitting zone and much more control, right? So the later you get turned is when you involve the wrist, if you want to get any racket speed, and probably going to end up short, probably going to give that server an offensive opportunity. So that's the message for today, guys. Early, stinking early prep, and make it like, if there's a coach out there watching you and the one thing they go, man, your prep is so early. I love it, man. I wish all my students were that quick with their shoulder turn prep, right? And make that your thing, right? I mean, anyone can do that. You don't have to be in the tour to be able to have early prep. So work on it. Soft hands, commit instantly to the turn. And then I think once you do that, You'll find the right spacing in the path of that incoming ball. You'll find the right point of contact. And when those two things align, you've now found your forehand. You've now found your backhand. And all you've got to do is just be really self-observant and just remember. And look, for me, I mean, we talk a lot about when we miss a shot. All right, well, what I meant to do instead, and you dry rehearse, right? In between points, you dry rehearse 1 or 2 practice swings. Well, for me, when I do the opposite, when I hit the forehand and the backhand, the way I really want to do it, I just go, let's do that another 2 times, or at least 1 time as a dry rehearse. So I continue to tell my brain, hey man, this is what we want to do next time as well. All right, guys, listen, I want to read what's going on with today's topic, and would love to read and respond. As always, you can do it down below in the comments area. You can direct message me at Facebook. Shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. A reminder, if you want the Sievertson 12, which is going to take me a few days, if not a little bit longer, to get this thing produced. Again, it's on me, free, no charge. Let me know. Just shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. And when it's ready, I for sure will get it to you. What else? Guys, if you want to support 7 Around 7, you can do that down below. In the description area, there's a link that will take you to webtennisgear.com. Of course, I put on this picture, I put the text right over the logo here. It's youtube.com//webtennis, which is my YouTube channel. But look, guys, if you want to pick up a t-shirt or more, different styles, different colors, men's and women's, what I'm willing to do, more than happy to do as a way of saying thanks, is give you one of my 7 $97 stroke technique courses. Your choice. You get to choose. I'll give that to you as a gift. And so there you have it, right down below, webtennisgear.com. All right, guys, it's time. All of us, every one of us, no exceptions, get out there today. Help someone else have a great day. Guys, I'll see you again next time.